Listen, come closer. Still your hands, quiet your mind, and for a moment, just a moment, cease your endless striving and simply listen. I am not speaking to the crowd. I am not addressing the masses who are content with the hum of the mundane, the comfortable static that drowns out the deeper frequencies of existence. I am speaking to you. Yes, you. The one who has always felt a subtle dislocation, a sense of being a sojourner in a strange land. The one who looks up at the night sky and feels a pang of homesickness for a place you've never been. I am speaking to the one who carries a quiet ache in the soul. A divine dissatisfaction that no worldly success, no fleeting pleasure, no human accolade can soothe. You who have felt the tremor of a different reality beneath the floorboards of this one. You are one of God's chosen, and I am here to tell you, with an urgency that should set your teeth on edge, that you must not take this time, this moment, this calling, lightly. Your very life, not the mere biological process of breath and heartbeat, but your true, eternal, and purposeful life, depends entirely on your attention now. The age of slumber is over. The dawn is not just breaking, it is shattering the long night, and its light demands an awakening. You have been marked from before the foundations of the world. This is not a mark of privilege, but of profound and terrible responsibility. It is a brand seared upon your spirit, a homing beacon that draws both celestial aid and infernal opposition. For years, perhaps your entire life, you have misinterpreted its signal. You thought it was anxiety, a feeling of not fitting in, a creative restlessness, or a persistent melancholy. You tried to medicate it with noise, to bury it under ambition, to numb it with entertainment, to explain it away with the dry language of psychology. But it is none of those things. It is the holy summons. It is the deep bass note of your purpose resonating with the voice of your Creator. It is the unbearable tension of a bowstring pulled taut, waiting for the moment of release. You are an arrow, fashioned in secret, fletched with suffering, and tipped with a fire that is not your own. And the time of your flight is at hand. To take this lightly is to misunderstand the very nature of your existence. It is like an astronaut, suited and ready on the launch pad, deciding to take a nap just as the final countdown begins. The consequences are not merely disappointment. They are a catastrophic failure, a void where a destiny was meant to be. Consider the vessel. A potter chooses a lump of clay not because it is prettier or more worthy than any other lump, but because he has a specific purpose for it in his mind. He sees a pitcher, a bowl, a chalice, while all others see only mud. And so he begins the work. He throws it upon the wheel, and the world begins to spin. The pressure is immense, the shaping constant. He introduces water, the tears of refinement, and with his hands, he pushes and pulls, collapsing and raising, breaking down and building up. This process is not gentle. It is a violent, intentional remaking. You have felt this wheel. You have felt the crushing pressure of circumstance, the disorientation of your world spinning out of control, the invasive hands of a force you could not see, shaping your character, your resilience, your very soul. You have cried out, "Why me? What have I done to deserve this?" You took it personally, as an attack or a punishment. You have taken it lightly, believing it was just bad luck, random chaos. It was neither. It was the potter's hands. It was the necessary, agonizing, and loving formation of a vessel fit for a holy purpose. To resist this process, to complain against it, to try and leap from the wheel, is to choose to remain a lump of useless clay, destined to be trod underfoot. Your life your purpose-driven life, depends on your submission to the wheel. Every trial, every heartbreak, every moment of despair was not a detour from your path. It was the path itself, carving you into the shape of your calling. Now, understand the nature of the danger. The primary threat to your destiny is not a roaring lion, a declared enemy, or a cataclysmic event. The enemy of your soul is far more subtle. It is the lullaby of the age. It is the gentle, pervasive, and soul-deadening hum of distraction. It is the endless scroll that trains your mind for triviality. It is the 24-hour news cycle that inflames your passions about shadows on a cave wall while the real battle rages, unnoticed, within and around you. It is the cult of comfort that whispers that your primary purpose is to be safe, to be content, to be entertained, and to avoid all forms of suffering. This is the great lie that has put millions of chosen souls to sleep. You were not created for comfort. You were created for glory, and the path to glory is paved with sacrifice and fire. You are being lulled into a state of spiritual anesthesia, your senses dulled, your discernment clouded. You trade the celestial banquet for a bowl of cheap stew. You are the watchman on the wall, gifted with keen eyes to see the enemy approaching from miles away. But you are distracted, playing games on a glowing screen, your back to the horizon. And while you are distracted, the enemy is not merely at the gates. He is in the courtyard, poisoning the wells. This is not a metaphor. The wells of culture, of knowledge, of spirituality are being poisoned with cynicism, with relativism, with a deep and abiding nihilism that masquerades as sophisticated thought. Your life depends on turning away from the screen and turning towards the horizon. It depends on you purging the toxins of the age from your system, fasting from the noise, and recalibrating your senses to perceive the subtle realities once more. The fire that you see, the fire that you feel inside you, is a purifying agent. Do not be afraid of it. Do not try to quench it. Society will hand you 1,000 fire extinguishers. They will call it balance, moderation, being realistic. They will tell you that your intensity is unsettling, your passion is unseemly. They will try to cool your embers because your fire exposes their coldness. But you must protect that flame with everything you have. It is the pilot light of your soul. It is the divine spark that connects you to the great fire. This fire is meant to burn away all that is not you. It is meant to incinerate your ego, your pride, your fear, your attachments to the world's approval, your addiction to comfort. You have been carrying so much dead weight, old wounds, bitter resentments, false identities, inherited limitations. The fire will consume it all if you let it. And yes, it will hurt. The burning of dross is a painful process, but you must understand that what is burning is not your true self. It is the prison that has been built around your true self. To take this fire lightly is to allow it to smolder, to create smoke that will choke you and blind you, but never truly set you free. You must lean into the flames. You must become a willing sacrifice on the altar of your own becoming. This is the alchemy of the soul. This is how God turns lead into gold, how He transforms a broken, fearful human into a conduit of divine power. Your life, your radiant and powerful life, depends on you becoming a living flame, a torch in the gathering darkness. Listen to the silence. Can you hear it? Underneath the traffic, the chatter, the endless music, there is a profound and waiting silence. It is in this silence that the still, small voice speaks. The world has trained you to fear this silence. As soon as it appears, you reach for your phone, you turn on the television, you fill the space with anything to avoid confrontation with yourself and with the divine that waits for you there. This is the wilderness to which you are being called. You must carve out moments, then hours, then days of intentional silence. You must disconnect from the hive mind to reconnect with the divine mind. In the silence, the illusions will crumble. The frantic priorities of the world will be exposed for the trifles they are. The voices of others, which you have allowed to become the architects of your identity, will fade. And in that vast, empty space, a new voice will arise, your own true voice, in harmony with the voice of God. It will speak of your mission. It will give you your marching orders. It will affirm the truth you have always known in your deepest heart. It will not flatter you. It might terrify you. It will call you to a path of immense difficulty, to a task that seems impossible. It will demand everything from you. To take this call to silence lightly is to miss the single most important conversation of your life. It is to remain deaf to your own destiny. Your life depends on your courage to be silent, to be still, and to truly listen. You must also understand the principle of the seed. You are a seed, containing within you the blueprint for a mighty tree, a tree that can shelter nations, bear fruit that heals, and reach into the very heavens. But a seed, to become a tree, must first be buried. It must die to its life as a seed. It must be plunged into darkness, into the cold, crushing earth. It must surrender its hard outer shell and allow itself to become vulnerable, to break open. This is the season you may find yourself in now. A season of darkness, of isolation, of feeling buried and forgotten by God and man. You look at your life and see no growth, no light, no progress. You see only the suffocating soil. You have taken this lightly, calling it depression, failure, a wasted life. You are mistaken. This is the sacred ground of germination. This is the necessary death that precedes the glorious resurrection. In this darkness, your roots are growing deep, seeking the living water that the surface world cannot provide. You are building a foundation that will be able to withstand the storms that are coming. Do not curse the darkness. Do not try to claw your way prematurely to the surface. Surrender to the process. Trust the unseen growth. Your life, the life of the mighty tree you are destined to become, depends on your willingness to be buried. Many seeds refuse this process. They want to stay unsafe, polished, and intact. And so they remain, forever seeds, never knowing the glory of the sun, the wind, and the sky. They have chosen the life of potential over the life of actuality, and it is a living death. Be aware of the cosmic timing. Why is this message so urgent now? Because you are living at a hinge point of history. The tectonic plates of ages are shifting. A great sorting is taking place, a separation of the wheat from the chaff. The spiritual atmosphere is charged with a tension that even the most secular person can feel as a pervasive anxiety, a sense of impending, unnamed climax. The institutions you were told to trust are revealing their rotten foundations. This is not a time for lukewarm faith or part-time spirituality. This is a time for absolutes. The gray areas are vanishing, and the lines are being drawn. You, the chosen, are the frontline soldiers in a spiritual war that is escalating dramatically. You are the light bearers, and your lamps must be trimmed, filled with oil, and burning brightly. For a profound darkness is gathering. You were born for this moment. Your unique gifts, your painful experiences, your deepest passions, they were not random. They were the specific training and equipment for your post in this exact era. To take your role lightly is to abdicate your post in the most crucial hour of the battle. It is to be the soldier who oversleeps on the day of the invasion. Your life, and perhaps the lives of many you are called to influence, protect, and guide, depends on you understanding the monumental significance of this present time. The clock is ticking. The trumpet is about to sound. Wake up. Therefore, what must you do? First, you must embark on a ruthless campaign of simplification. Look at your life. What are you carrying that is not essential? What habits, what relationships, what possessions, what ambitions are draining your energy, cluttering your mind, and anchoring your soul to the shallow waters? Be like a mariner preparing for a hurricane, casting overboard everything that is not absolutely vital for survival and the completion of the mission. This will be a painful process of detachment. The world has taught you to define yourself by your attachments. You must now learn to define yourself by your connection to the divine, and by that alone. Second, you must become a student of truth as if your life depends on it, because it does. Move beyond comforting platitudes and inherited doctrines. Wrestle with the great questions. Seek the source. Do not subcontract your spiritual thinking to anyone. Read the ancient texts not as history lessons, but as living manuals for the soul. Pray not with recited words, but with the raw, honest, and desperate cry of your heart. Third, you must practice courage. The path you are being called to will put you at odds with the world. You will be misunderstood, mocked, and ostracized. The pressure to conform, to soften your message, to compromise your integrity, will be immense. You must cultivate a courage that is rooted not in self-confidence, but in God-confidence. The courage to be strange, to be silent when the world is screaming, and to speak when the world is silent. The courage to obey the whisper of the divine will over the roar of the crowd. Your life, your authentic and free life, depends on your unwavering commitment to this path, regardless of the cost. Do not look for crowds to follow you. The path is narrow, and few find it. Your task is not to be popular, it is to be faithful. Finally, remember that you are not alone, even when you feel you are. There are others, other lights burning in the darkness, other watchmen on distant parts of the wall, other seeds buried in the same dark earth. You may not see them, but they are there. Your faithfulness in your post sends a signal of encouragement to them, just as theirs does to you. You are part of a vast, divine conspiracy of light. Your small act of obedience, your quiet moment of prayer, your courageous choice to speak the truth, ripples out through the unseen realm with tremendous power. Do not underestimate the significance of your role, no matter how small or hidden it may seem. You are a crucial piece in a cosmic puzzle, a vital note in a celestial symphony. To take your part lightly is to create a dissonance that affects the whole. So stand up. Shake the slumber from your eyes. Let the fire in your soul become a blaze. Embrace the beautiful, terrifying, and glorious responsibility of your calling. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Do not waste another moment in triviality. Your destiny calls. Your God waits. Your true life hangs in the balance. Don't you dare take it lightly.